Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Moore County. Hey, weather's pretty nice out there, a little overcast, but temperature's just right to walk down to the end of your driveway and pick up that trash and get it out of the street, because Weatherman Steve's going to make it rain this afternoon, and that trash might flow into the watershed, and we don't need that pollution. So go down there at the end of your driveway and pick it up.
Yeah, it's easier than picking a broken nose. I knew that'd get you.
Picking a broken nose, okay.
All right, don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's up and running at our website at talk973.com or talk1041.com or weeb990.com. Top middle of the page is where the link is located for the video. If you want just our regular audio stream, you can get that easily. In the upper right-hand corner of every one of our web pages has an icon that says on the air, listen live. Click that once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. Well, we kind of got a mixture of stuff coming our way. So let's delve through it and see what we got here. If I can find the thing for it. Here we go.
You know the thing.
Yeah. The thingy, as women would say. Mostly cloudy today with showers. That'll be late in the day. Look for a high of 65. But a good chance of a 90% chance. Then tonight, the bulk of the rain. Mostly cloudy with showers. Maybe a thunderstorm too mixed in there. A low around 55 degrees. And then for Thursday, partly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms ending early, turning to partly cloudy, mostly clear by nightfall. High on Thursday, 71. Overnight Thursday night will be a low of 52. And Friday, the end of the week, pretty spectacular here. Partly cloudy with a high of 73. Over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 50-50 shot of rain on Saturday, high of 73, and Sunday mostly sunny with a high of 69. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are calm, pressure is 30-48, dew point 44, humidity 76%. It is cloudy, 52 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 7:35, 35 past the hour. John Zumwalt will join us next hour. Okay, we've got lots to cover and a little time to do it in, so let's get started, boys and girls, with our sound bites. Start out usually with our, what do we call them? The best of for today. And that starts with the best jokes from the late night Munich boys.
NCAA basketball tournament is underway.
Of course, Snapster's got to be in there. Can't take a command and shut up. Let's see. Now I need that again. No. Here we go. Stop that. Back that up. You see what goes on when something goes wrong? All right, try it again. Where did I say it was, Colonel? We'll start here. A dog in Colorado was assumed dead after getting caught up in an avalanche and going missing for several nights, but he was found alive and healthy. Here's Brian Laser, the deputy director of the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, talking about how lucky it is they found the pup.
Miraculously, the dog survived and made it back to Monarch Pass after spending a couple nights out in very, very cold weather. The best thing you could try to do is, not lose sight of them. Of course, we'll never know exactly what happened to this dog. Only the dog will know that story.
Or put a tag on him so you can find him afterwards.
Yeah, that works too. I know plenty of people that have found their lost pets because they put a geolocation tag on them.
Well, social media influencers are using methylene blue, a dye often used in fish tanks, as a cleaner, claiming it offers an array of health benefits, and doctors are not happy about this. Canadian physician Dr. John took to TikTok to explain some of the dangers of using the podcast.
Methylene blue is not harmless. It can cause destruction of red blood cells in people with G6PD deficiency, causing potentially life-threatening hemolysis. It has an FDA warning because it interacts with people with antidepressants to cause something called serotonin syndrome, which is potentially fatal as well. Not to mention it can discolor your skin and bodily fluids.
So what are people drinking or they're taking this stuff for what?
Now they say an array of health benefits, but a saltwater tank takes a lot, and fresh water to a degree takes a lot of maintenance in order to make it look clean the whole time. You got to be easy when you do it. You got to clean the tank both sides while it's wet, and they have tools that will help you do it while it's wet so that you can have a clean tank. And then after stirring up all the, fish poo in the tank to help clean it out, you put this water in there that pretty much absorbs all that, and your tank looks so clean.
All right.
Kind of like palm olive washing detergent. You soak your fingers in there.
Yeah.
Supposedly. Okay, that went over well. Those Dyson hand dryers in public restrooms may not be as sanitary as you may have been led to believe. Here's a doctor giving the straight news about them. Have you ever seen those in the restrooms?
Yeah, a variety of hand dryers, and yeah, that's been bandied about for ages. I remember 20 years ago people talking about, well, these hand air dryers don't work the way everybody thinks they do, etc. They've been, that's been out there a long time.
All right, well, the good doctor is going to give the straight news about them right now.
Yo, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but those hand dryers in public restrooms are extremely disgusting. And there have been actual studies done on those hand dryers to see if they spread bacteria. And spoiler alert, they tend to spread more bacteria compared to just towels.
Right. And yeah, you go through the trash thing. The greenies don't want piles of hand towels or paper. The thing will go back and forth. And, next month there'll be another study saying, hey, hot air hand dryers are the best thing that ever happened to the world. So, yeah, move on. What are you supposed to say? Like I do. I remember, got to be 20 years ago. This is 1990s. Reading something or hearing something about hand dryers, and they're not as effective, and they don't kill bacteria. They don't do this. They don't do that. So I don't know.
Well, what does Rod Stewart do when there are problems in front of his English estate? He put on a vest and started shoveling with a work crew and filled them in himself. He said he's had enough driving over them with his Ferrari, and He's giving singing lessons about this. But there you go. You got a brand new Ferrari. You want to drive up and down the street a little bit, show the neighbors, I got one. And then you fall in a pothole and dent up the bottom of your car. That would tick me off. And Rod Stewart decided to do something about it.
Potholes, I'm filling them up. Potholes, they damage my hubs. Potholes out in front of my house and my Ferrari.
Yeah, I read an article on that, and yeah, apparently he actually got out there and was, filling potholes and doing the work. He wasn't just standing around with a shovel in his hand like most of the celebrities do. He actually got out there and performed some work. So he impressed all the work crews and everybody. So. Yeah.
Well, while having some fun with Rod Stewart filling potholes, let's not forget about his illustrious career in music. Here's a pretty good example of the vocal and songwriting talent that he has.
Someone like you makes it hard to live without somebody else. Have I told you lately that I love you? First cut is the deepest. Wake up, Maggie, I think I got something to say.
Okay.
I hadn't heard any of those in a long time.
Tickets are going on sale this Friday for the Rolling Stones UK tour called 60, as it is their 60th year in rock and roll. So they're doing a summer tour where all it began for them. Here's the concert ad for you.
The Rolling Stones' new UK tour, celebrating 60 years of the band's history and the fact that 60% of the band is still alive. Don't miss the age-reflective versions of their classic hits. I said, hey, you, get off of my lawn.
Let's spend our pensions together.
It's the early bird at Tuesday, and I've got a coupon too. I can't always hear when you talk.
Angina, I've got angina.
The Rolling Stones, 1962 to 2022. Get tickets before it's too late.
Yeah, there's a bunch that maybe should have packed it in a while ago.
Let's see. Here's entertainment and lifestyle in only 40 seconds. Sandra Bullock said she's taking a career break to take care of her kids. Netflix is no longer streaming in Russia. Keith Richards quit smoking, and Sandra Bullock is phasing out his iconic cups. Well, you can get more topical jokes in today's show or right now.
This is not headline news. Sandra Bullock announced she's taking a break from her career to raise her kids. Tom Brady told her, give it 40 days. Netflix is no longer streaming in Russia because if messing with their food and money didn't break them, surely messing with the final season of Ozark will. Keith Richards says he quit smoking. And so continues Keith Richards' lifelong quest to become history's most diehard health nut. And Starbucks is phasing out its iconic cups, but keeping the iconic name misspellings written on them. This is not headline news.
All righty. Let's see here. We'll come back to these if we have time. All right, let's move on to some Twitter quotes for today. See where the world is and what's on their mind. I got a bunch of them, and we'll do some of them. From Kevin Sorbo, is a good actor. He says, anyone have any conspiracy theories? My old ones keep coming true.
Yeah, he's right on that.
Senator Marsha Blackburn says, has the situation in Ukraine has the situation in the Ukraine taught by nothing? We need a secure border now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I wish. I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to say to that. I mean, exactly. The comparisons are so ridiculous. Hey, and if you read, old Beto O'Rourke is running for governor in Texas again, and yeah, apparently it's his.
He's already won the Democratic nomination.
Yeah, apparently his big plan is to, in fact, enforce nothing at the state level on the Texas border, and in fact, just open the doors. Period. Through whatever authority he would have as the state governor, but yeah, this is just outlandish.
Let's see. Marco Rubio says today we passed out of the Senate my bill to make daylight savings time permanent. Now it's up to the House to help us lock the clock.
Yeah, I wish they would. Which one did they pick? They go on permanent daylight savings?
Yeah. I don't like that.
All right. Well, not my preference, I guess, but I don't care. Just stop the nonsense of changing the clocks. Pick one. That's fine. They pick permanent daylight savings. All right, fine.
Something about getting dark at 9:30 that turns me off instead of 8:30. Got to have a little evening, but you don't really get it till about 9:30, 10 o'clock around here. We'll see.
Well, if you don't like it, move to Alaska.
Attorneys representing actor Jesse Smollett are calling for his release from jail, claiming that he has received, quote, dangerous threats and a legal filing this week, according to Rolling Stone magazine. I guess he's finding out in there is MAGA country, huh? For real. Yeah, I can see it now. Bubba, the love sponge, in his jail, and let's just say he's being more than amorous with Jesse, and the guard comes by and says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm extracting information, sir."
Juicy.
Yeah, and the guard says, "Keep it up."
Well,
it's up, all right.
It's just ridiculous. He's still, there's no evidence of the hoax, and he's innocent. And just shut up. And they shouldn't be reporting on this clown. If people would just ignore him, he'll go away.
It is hopeful that Russia and Ukraine are exhausted, and that negotiations for a ceasefire are approaching. It may not happen overnight, but it's going to happen. Carrie Lake is running for governor of Arizona. She says, yes, we will finish the wall on state and federal land. And no, I will not be asking permission from the feds.
Yeah, there you go. That's what they're doing in Texas, apparently. The governor's just, what's his name? Texas governor just bought bought all the stuff, all the wall components, etc., and they're going to start building the portions that the feds have refused to do. And,
He buying the portions from the feds that's ready.
Yeah,
to go.
when Biden stopped the wall, all the material was laying there, and Biden and the feds missed an opportunity to scrap it and destroy it all. So apparently the Texas governor has purchased a lot of that, and they're going to continue building. So, they can probably do that in Arizona, too.
By the way, if you want to talk to Kerry Lake, the Arizona governor, well, you can do so. It's at Kerry Lake on Twitter. From John Solomon again. He says, POTUS is heading to Brussels next week to meet with allied European leaders over Russia invasion of Ukraine.
Well, hopefully they resolve it before that, before he sticks his fingers in it. Yeah, that's what you need. You need Biden tromping through the middle of everything and tracking mud and dust and whatever else.
The TV ratings are in for the nighttime news networks. Fox News was the most watched in total viewers on Monday, March 14th. Here are the top 10. Coming in at let's start at number 8. Number 8 was outnumbered on Fox. Gutfeld came in 7th. Of course, he was missing through much of that time. Number 6, Ingram Angle. Number 5, Brett Baer. Number 4, Sean Hannity. Number 3, do you know what beat Sean? Number 3?
No.
Jesse. Primetime.
Does he? I've listened to that. I've listened to him. He's still getting his feet under him. I don't know. Sometimes I just not impressed, but he's swinging away.
The 5 came in 2nd, and at number 1 of the TV shows that are out there every night, number 1 was Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, he throws some stuff on the wall, and a lot of it does stick.
Mm-hmm.
The 5, I watch the 5 more often than not, and except when they have Jerry Rivers on there, I turn it off because he's a complete fool. But they have Harold Ford, former congressman, Democrat, and he can actually carry a rational conversation with the other 4 who are obviously more conservative. Some of them aren't real conservatives, but they have a good show when he's on there. And now I guess the one woman who was on pregnancy leave, she's back, and more often than not, she's got her foot in her mouth too. So her and Jerry Rivers should go somewhere.
All right, some things you need to know today so you do not sound stupid. Paramount Plus promotes their new sci-fi series, Halo, by using hundreds of drones over Austin, Texas, to form a giant scannable QR code where you could watch the series trailer. All that trouble to get the code. Costco is going to end their special hours for seniors and healthcare workers that they started offering during the pandemic. This will start on April 17th. 78-year-old Keith Richards says he's finally quit smoking 2 years ago after 55 years and says he doesn't miss it a bit. Well, I got him beat. The American Kennel Club put out their list of the most popular breeds in the U.S. And number 1 is...
Oh, I have no idea.
Labs.
Labradors? Okay.
Followed by poodles.
Poodles, yeah.
Get my mouth cranked up. Poodles.
That's what I would have said, but yeah, it changes. It changes every year, so they can't have one dog be popular every year. They gotta give everybody a chance, you know.
Yeah, and you see some out there on the ring that, you know, you're thinking, I know who sired that one. They keep it pretty much in-house. HBO is developing a Harlan Quinn spin-off series. Jeff and the wife are just waiting by for that one.
No, I don't get HBO. I can't remember which one. Michelle likes this one particular show, and it's on one of the other ones, so that's the one.
Which show is that?
It's not. I don't know what it is. It's not HBO. I'll put it that way.
Starbucks says that in the long run, they're going to phase out their disposable cups.
Oh, okay.
Guess you'll bring your own.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
Bring in a cup. The potholes on the street out in front of Rod Stewart's home, well, we did that.
You got that, yeah.
Adele.
We filled that hole already.
Adele, who couldn't get her act together to produce a show in Vegas after people had bought tickets, she felt like she was 20 months away from being able to finish. Anyway, she's able to have another special on the way to TV. It's called An Audience with Adele, and it will air on NBC March 20th. That's this Sunday. While out promoting Lost City, Sandra Bullock says that after this, she's going to take a break from acting to spend time with her family. And for you Top Gun fans out there, we finally have a date. Top Gun Maverick will debut at the Cannes Film Festival in May prior to its theater release on May 27th. Today's a possible question. Although the annual activity likely date back thousands of years, the first recorded mention of it wasn't until 1857. What was it?
1857. I don't know.
You know this.
Christmas, Thanksgiving. I have no clue what you're.
Spring.
Spring what?
Cleaning.
Oh, spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
All right, 8 o'clock. We'll be back.
A storm system we have been watching for the past couple of days begins to impact us later this afternoon, and especially so tonight. We will see some rain, even hear the rumble of thunder later on tonight. It's just about a 30% chance for a shower later this afternoon. Otherwise, just a lot of clouds today. The high in the upper 60s to about 70. Showers and storms likely tonight. A very slim chance there could be a strong to severe storm. Mid to upper 50s, the lows. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhill. 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. There are some glimmers of hope in peace talks between Ukrainian and Russian bargainers. Cautiously optimistic remarks from both sides as the talks and the war continue.
A plume of smoke was seen rising over western Kiev after shrapnel from an artillery shell slammed into a 12-story apartment block, obliterating the top floor and igniting a fire, according to a statement and images released by the emergencies agency. Russian forces have too intensified fighting in the suburbs and on a key highway heading west. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry reports fighting near the separatist-held eastern regions, but has not commented on Russian military activity elsewhere.
Correspondent Charles De La Desma. Republican Senator Ted Cruz saying there is no great mystery as to why Putin chose to attack Ukraine at this time.
Putin invaded, number one, because of Biden's disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan, the weakness that showed, encourage every enemy on earth. And number two, specifically because Biden waived the sanctions on Nord Stream 2, the natural gas pipeline that Putin was building from Russia to Germany.
Cruz speaking with the Salem Radio Network. When he addresses the U.S. Congress later this morning, Ukrainian President Zelensky expected to again plead for a no-fly zone, but President Biden not budging on the issue.
He continues to believe that a no-fly zone would be escalatory, could prompt a war with Russia.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, President Zelensky's address to Congress, a virtual address scheduled for 9 this morning, Eastern Time. And watching Wall Street, stock futures sharply higher ahead of this morning's opening bell. Right now, the Dow futures are up 371 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 235, and the S&P futures up 52 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-940-6161. That's 1-800-940-6161. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-940-6161. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Britain is ending some of its most comprehensive COVID-19 testing and monitoring programs, a move that some researchers fear could complicate efforts to track the virus and detect any worrisome new variants. Officials have largely dismissed those concerns, though, despite a recent uptick in cases in Europe. They insist that high immunization rates will help to dampen any future wave of the disease. But based on how quickly new variants have arisen, some experts suggest the next mutated version could arrive as early as May. A Senate committee has approved a bipartisan blueprint to overhaul the nation's public health system, applying the lessons of COVID-19 to future outbreaks through a new chain of command, stronger medical supply chain, and clearer crisis communication. But yesterday's vote by the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, only the first step. Lawmakers must still deliver the tens of billions it will take to translate the bill's vision into reality. Townhall.com. The Senate endorses making daylight saving time permanent nationwide next year.
The Sunshine Protection Act was approved unanimously. That included support from Florida Republican Marco Rubio.
Pardon the pun, but this is an idea whose time has come.
Daylight saving time was first adopted as a wartime measure in 1942.
Cutting back on the sun during the fall and winter is a drain on the American people.
Massachusetts Democrat Ed Markey says studies show clock changes back and forth affect mood and health. He points out the mood change since the switch to daylight saving time.
It's sunshine and smiles. We've only had daylight savings time so far for 2 days, but all across the country, people are out in the evening with the extra daylight.
Nearly a dozen states across the country have already standardized daylight saving time. This bill moves on to the House. Ed Donahue, Washington.
Dow futures up 390 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We're proud to be working with our local businesses for the greatest comeback of all time.
Come together.
With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
I'm Congressman Dan Bishop. American troops risk their lives to protect our freedoms every day. But President Biden's policy will punish soldiers for exercising their own freedoms.
Weijia Jiang is at the White House. So Weijia, it was actually President Biden who directed this change.
Service members who refuse to get vaccinated could be reprimanded or punished.
This is not about freedom or personal choice. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
President Biden's policies are punishing and reprimanding soldiers.
CBS 17's Mackenzie Staska was live outside Fort Bragg.
At least 350 soldiers at Fort Bragg could see their careers come to an end for refusing the COVID vaccine.
I'm Congressman Dan Bishop. I'm sponsoring legislation to protect our troops from President Biden's vaccine mandate. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Aaron Cooper here with Cooper Ford. To say the past year and a half has been tough is an understatement. And it's during these times that we truly value the community in which we all live in. At Cooper Ford, we continue to do all we can to pour support back into the community because taking care of each other is what it's all about. And that's why we won't have any market adjustment stickers or any of our new Fords like so many other dealers. We believe in fair and honest pricing and have from day one. So please come see us here in beautiful Carthage or visit us on the web at cooperford.net.
Cooper Ford, working hard to be your hometown dealer.
This is the perfect time of the year to bust out all your Echo tools and equipment from Beaver Equipment. Thanks to all the storms, my new Echo chainsaw from Beaver Equipment has been getting a good workout. Beaver Equipment is the place to go for rough and rugged Echo equipment for real men. They offer 5-year warranties and are locally owned and operated. So men, get out there and enjoy your Echo Power equipment from Beaver Equipment, Highway 211 in Aberdeen, 910-944-0402.
Is your village, town, community, or HOA in need of road repairs? Being proactive is the key to staying ahead of the curve and implementing an effective asphalt repair program. It can improve efficiency and reduce citizen complaints. Give Seven Lakes Contracting and Asphalt Services a call at 910-673-1318 to see what they can do for you. In addition to their normal asphalt paving, asphalt overlays, crack sealing, seal coating, and striping, Seven Lakes Contracting and Asphalt Services has also implemented its asphalt patching operation through the use of a pothole patch truck equipped with a heated hopper. The patch truck can keep hot mix asphalt for a period of 72 hours, thereby extending the life of the asphalt from 1 to 2 hours with the dump truck. Call Seven Lakes Contracting and Asphalt Services at 910-673-1318, 910-673-1318.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. The Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumbers, but also the most knowledgeable plumbers. Before any of our employees are hired, all of the employees must undergo drug testing and a thorough background check. If they don't pass, they aren't hired. No exceptions. Once they're hired and part of the team, they receive continuous technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at their trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Russia's bloody invasion of Ukraine may still force Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to negotiate concessions his people would not want to make. Bruce Jennelson, a political science professor at Duke, says...
It's a military operation to basically provide the protection that people are calling for. First of all, it have nothing to do with ground artillery and rockets that are coming. It's really about the air, so it wouldn't necessarily solve the humanitarian problem.
Meanwhile, President Biden is expected to announce another security aid package for Ukraine.
I'm Tom Foti. Still more U.S. aid will be heading to Ukraine, an additional $800 million worth in security assistance. That, according to a White House official late Tuesday, just hours after President Biden signed a spending bill that already includes more than $13.5 billion.
North Carolina lawmakers weighing whether to expand Medicaid. Former Ohio governor and Republican presidential candidate John Kasich was among those who spoke to a General Assembly committee on Tuesday.
When you die and go to heaven, you're going to see St. Peter, and St. Peter is not going to ask you, did you balance the budget? He's going to ask you, what did you do for the least of those? And that's how I feel about it.
Governor Roy Cooper joined Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Michael Regan and the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians to unveil the first electric school bus in North Carolina.
The clean energy economy will bring better paying jobs all over this state. And it will also make us healthier, and it will also help us keep those beautiful mountain views.
With prices at the grocery store hitting levels we haven't seen in decades, organizations say they're seeing more people becoming food insecure. Kara Irani with Manna Food Bank in Asheville told WLOS.
It's families who have always been able to somehow make ends meet, and now they just can't make the numbers work in their household budget.
You're listening to NCN News.
If you or someone you know has been the victim of a crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Services is here to provide support. The office provides a range of free, confidential services to help you regain yourself, receive compensation for damages incurred, protect yourself and your family, and move beyond the stigma of being victimized. Visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
They've broken with Moscow now, but a British newspaper reports some well-connected lobbyists and lawyers in Washington made millions working for Russian clients linked to Vladimir Putin.
Public data collated by the nonprofit group Open Secrets and verified by the Financial Times shows that Washington-based power brokers have earned nearly $50 million since 2014, representing high-level Russian clients, some of them under sanction. Of the highest-profile groups, Mercury and BGR, Mercury also advised former President Donald Trump, and BGR was co-founded by a former Republican governor of Mississippi. But the FT reports at least one major Democrat donor has also lobbied Congress on behalf of Russian interests.
Pfizer's CEO says people may need a fourth COVID-19 booster. News of a fourth shot or second booster did not shock Dr. Ron May, Carolina East Medical Center Medical Affairs Vice President, who told WCTI in New Bern.
I'm not surprised. There are several countries in the world that have actually started a fourth dose, as the second booster.
Charlotte-Mecklenburg police are investigating a homicide that occurred in southwest Charlotte on Tuesday night. 2 teens were shot, 1 was killed. It used to be that a government job was a gold standard, something almost everybody wanted, but now even those jobs are going begging. Some local, state, and federal governments are easing their job requirements.
Among those governments, the state of Maryland, which has been having trouble filling hundreds of jobs, so it has eliminated college degree requirements for 300 administrative and customer service positions. Governor Larry Hogan.
This is exactly the kind of bold, bipartisan solution we need to continue to lead the nation by giving more Marylanders the opportunities that they need to be successful.
For other hard-to-fill jobs like IT, Maryland is hiring people who've gotten the necessary skills through military service, apprenticeships, and on-the-job learning.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
We saw clouds move into the area yesterday afternoon. They're still with us this morning. Mostly cloudy skies today. A small chance for a shower later this afternoon. Our high temperature, upper 60s to about 70. Tonight, showers and storms appear likely. There's a very minimal chance that there could be a strong to severe storm. The low in the mid to upper 50s. Showers look like they'll end in the morning tomorrow. Mostly cloudy otherwise. The high in the low 70s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we're looking at clear skies for the most part. 52 degrees, humidity 76%, 2.45, pressure 30-48, and winds are calm. Now our sensors are telling us it's cloudy. So cloudy in 52. It's 8:15. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday morning. A house outside of Carthage was destroyed in a fire early Tuesday morning. Emergency units were dispatched to the fire in the 2000 block of Wadesworth Road off of Old River Road just after 4 a.m. after a neighbor spotted the fire. Captain Justin Boyd of the Carthage Fire Department was first on scene and reported a fully engulfed house on fire. Due to the location of the home, water had to be shuttled in with tankers from hydrants located approximately 4 miles away from Pine Hill Road. Crews were on scene for an extended period of time, checking out for hot spots. The house is believed to be unoccupied, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. Meanwhile, the Board of Education, Moore County Board of Education, voted Monday that a book on gender dysphoria remain in school media centers at its March 14th regular business meeting after a board-certified committee reviewed the book and determined it should stay on the shelf. And on December 15th, the board received a complaint and request for the removal of the book, George by Alex Gino. The complaint from Carthage resident Jim Pedersen on January 26 read, quote, introducing children to porn and clearly their browser, genital mutilation with scissors, gender dysphoria does not address the diversity of needs, interests, and viewpoints of students. George is in the Union Pines High School Library and the McDee's Creek Elementary School Media Centers. Interim Secretary Dr. Tim Locklear said he supported keeping both books in schools. And Cranes Creek Fire Department said 2 kittens were rescued in a house fire due to a closed door. However, other pets in the house did not survive. Firefighters were called to a structure fire on Marks Road in Cameron on Monday. When firefighters arrived on the scene, the black corner of the house was burned and the roof was on fire. Firefighters had alerted of the 2 kittens, 2 birds, and 2 dogs were still in the home. The birds and dogs did not survive the fire, but the kittens did because they were hiding under a bed with the door closed. Closing a door in a fire can increase the survival chances, according to the fire department. That's your local WEEB news this morning from the Sand Hills Sentinel. And, of course, you can go online to sandhillssentinel.com for more information. It is 8:19. Sports is next, right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB.
Your morning sports report is brought to you by Hughes Supply of Pinehurst. With over 50 years' experience, Hughes Supply can handle all your plumbing project needs from start to finish. Call 910-295-5541 or visit them online at HughesSupplyPinehurst.com.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The first 2 from the first 4 have advanced in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Bryson Etienne scored 21 points, and Texas Southern beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi 76-67. The Cowboys earned their 3rd NCAA tournament win in 5 seasons and will play top-seeded Kansas in the Midwest Regional Round. Also last night, Trace Jackson Davis had 29 points and 9 boards, while Jordan Geronimo scored a career-high 15 points for Indiana, who beat turnover-prone Wyoming 66-58. Tonight, it will be Wright State versus Bryant in Notre Dame and Rutgers. Then the round of 64 begins on Thursday. The Tar Heels will be in Fort Worth, Texas, which is almost a homecoming of sorts for Tar Heels' Brady Manick. He'll have some hometown fans watching him play.
My house now is about an hour and a half from there, so my parents will get to have an easier trip finally this year. I got a lot of friends, high school coach, grandparents. They're all going to be there.
NBA action last night. Kyrie Irving scored a career-high 60 points, the most in the Nets' NBA history, to lead Brooklyn in a 150-108 win over the Orlando Magic. Irving shot 20 for 31, including 8 of 12 on three-point range. In 35 minutes, he made 12 of 13 free throws and matching the highest-scoring game in the NBA this season from just a night earlier by Minnesota's Karl Anthony Towns against San Antonio. Irving scored 41 in the first half, the most in the first 2 quarters since Kobe Bryant had 42 against Washington back in March of 2003. On the ice, Alex Ovechkin scored his 767th goal and passed Jaromir Jagr for 3rd on the NHL career list in the Capitals' 4-3 shootout win over the Islanders. This is NCN Sports.
Hi, Darcy the Cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Planting a sustainable vegetable garden helps to protect the environment, and there's nothing like knowing where your vegetables came from. Black Cow is a natural fertilizer with 10 times more nutrients than garden soil. Everything grows better with Black Cow, you know. That's blackcow.com.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
The booster is important because we want to make sure you have all the armor that you can possibly have for protection against the coronavirus.
This is literally something that we have 2 years and more of data to say that it works.
Having a booster shot is more effective at keeping people out of the hospital.
It is protecting people from dying. It is protecting people from getting extremely ill.
You have a spot.
Take your shot.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
Russians may have to distance themselves from their country ahead of one of the biggest tennis tournaments there is.
Wimbledon organizers are having conversations with the British government about whether Russian tennis players should be allowed to compete at the tournament this summer. The British sports minister wants players to denounce President Putin over his invasion of Ukraine and says absolutely no one will fly Russian flags. Tennis groups around the world have condemned the war and canceled events in Russia and Belarus. There's no telling when they could make a decision on Wimbledon, but the top men's tennis player in the world is Russian. The tournament starts in late June. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
A person familiar with the situation says the Carolina Panthers have added depth to their backfield by agreeing to a 1-year, $2 million contract with free agent running back Dante Foreman. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
For the second year in a row, Pinehurst Toyota has been awarded the Pilot's 2021 Best of the Pines Service Department winner. The Toyota Service Department opens Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call for an appointment at 910-212-5984 or go without an appointment. We also have pickup and drop-off service, and the first 2 years, 25,000 miles, are covered by the Toyota Care Program. We don't service just Toyota and Lexus, but foreign vehicles and domestic vehicles too. The Toyota Sales Department opens weekdays from 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Saturday 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and noon to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Call us during business hours at 910-692-2424. We're located at Highway 15501 in Southern Pines. And thank you for voting for the Pilot's Pinehurst Toyota Best of the Pines Service Department and Sandhills Magazine Best Dealership in Moore County.
Pines Funerals, Fry and Prickett, Kennedy, and Powell Funeral Homes, serving Carthage, Robbins, Southern Pines, and surrounding communities. Have you thought about pre-planning your final arrangements? At Pines Funerals, we're here to guide and assist our community's families through the pre-planning process. Visit pinesfunerals.com today to schedule a no-pressure, no-obligation appointment to ensure all of your questions are answered. That's pinesfunerals.com to see why more families prefer Pines.
When we were young, we could always count on our parents for just about anything. And now, as they age, the time has come to count on us. Griswold Home Care refers only highly qualified caregivers for just a few hours of care to 24/7 live-in service. These caregivers are compassionate and experienced. Put your trust in Griswold Home Care.
Call me, Bob Bonville, at Griswold Home Care of Pinehurst. That's 910-420-2360. 910-420-2360. We've been keeping the heart at home since 1982.
Serving more people, more places, 24/7. If your AC breaks down, we'll restore your indoor heaven. Installation or repair, one call, we'll be there. It's your family, don't delay. Comfort's just a call away. We're Comfort Services. Comfort Services.
Comfort Services is now offering gas logs, including installation and service. Their showroom is open by appointment. Just call 910-695-2665. Locally owned since 2003, Comfort Services is nationally certified and a Carrier Energy Expert dealer with highly qualified technicians. If you are interested in gas logs for your home, call Comfort Services for an appointment at 910-695-2665. Located on Highway 5 next to Habitat in Aberdeen.
Comfort's just a call away. Comfort Services.
I'm Congressman Dan Bishop. American troops risk their lives to protect our freedoms every day. But President Biden's policy will punish soldiers for exercising their own freedoms.
Weijia Jiang is at the White House. So, Weijia, it was actually President Biden who directed this change.
Service members who refuse to get vaccinated could be reprimanded or punished.
This is not about freedom or personal choice. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
President Biden's policies are punishing and reprimanding soldiers.
CBS 17's Mackenzie Staska was live outside Fort Bragg.
At least 350 soldiers at Fort Bragg could see their careers come to an end for refusing the COVID vaccine.
I'm Congressman Dan Bishop. I'm sponsoring legislation to protect our troops from President Biden's vaccine mandate. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hi, this is Rich Wagner from Whispering Pines. I've been suffering with acute back and knee pain for many months, and after trying visits to the doctor, painkillers, and spinal injections with no relief, I went to see Dr. Wright at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. After the first visit, I noticed a lot of improvement, and I've continued to improve with each treatment. Thanks to Dr. Wright, I'm feeling much better than I have in a very long time. I was skeptical about chiropractic treatment at first, but it has truly given me my life back.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
You know they're out there.
You know.
You can't see them. You can't hear them. But you know they're there.
They're there.
Termites. You know they're hungry. And you know your house is their main course. So you know you have to do something.
What can you do?
It's really quite simple. You ask for Termador, the unique treatment that wipes out 100% of the termites in your home in 3 months or less. Every last termite dead.
Bye-bye.
For a long, long time. Now you know. Only Termador is 100% effective against termites in 3 months or less. So ask for Termador by name from your pest control company. Because if you're not asking for Termador, you're asking for trouble.
Termador is available at Aberdeen Exterminating. Call 944-2474. That's 944-2474.
This is more than just innovation. This is smarter innovation. This is GE Profile at Keys Appliance Center in downtown Aberdeen. This is no spills autofill for hands-free fill-ups from your fridge. This is no preheat air fry right in your oven for food that's crispy without the oil. This is an in-oven cook cam so you can check on your food from your phone. This is smarter innovation. This is GE Profile. Upgrade today with your local appliance experts at Keys Appliance Center, located at 104 East Main Street, downtown Aberdeen. Call us at 910-944-8887 or shop online at keysappliance.com.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back. One local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time. With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom. Always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. In 2018, the state of Hawaii was going to conduct a test of their emergency warning system. The fear was from a North Korea missile launch, and they wanted to be ready. As part of that test, they sent out an alert to the public that said, "This is a test of our emergency warning system." But oops, and I'm not kidding, the guy sending the alert accidentally sent a message that appeared on all cell phones and said, "Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill." On TV screens, it even said, "If you're indoors, stay indoors. Remain inside, well away from windows." People were terrified, of course. They called family to say they loved them. It took 38 minutes for them to get the correction. They couldn't just send a correction 1 minute later because they're the government. They had to get permission, and that took 38 minutes. 38 minutes of citizens cowering, terrified that they were about to die. Now, the guy who had a choice of 2 buttons but chose the wrong one wasn't fired. He was transferred. The guy who replaced him had to go through some pretty rigorous training on how to tell the difference between 2 buttons. One part of the test, he had a picture of a button, a dog, and a car. he had to correctly identify the picture of a button. All right, he didn't really. Now, if you're in the government at any level, and we all know this, it's almost impossible for you to get fired no matter what you do. And everyone listening knows that. If this doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. Have a good day from the Zumwalt Zone.
A storm system we have been watching for the past couple of days begins to impact us later this afternoon, and especially so tonight. We will see some rain, even hear the rumble of thunder later on tonight. It's just about a 30% chance for a shower later this afternoon. Otherwise, just a lot of clouds today. The high in the upper 60s to about 70. Showers and storms likely tonight. A very slim chance there could be a strong to severe storm. Mid to upper 50s, the lows. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Good morning.
I got a question for you. Do you know what today is?
Yes. Wednesday.
Hump day.
Get over that hump. Hump day.
Yeah, you speak about a hump.
Are you guys ready to get started? My hump. My hump. My hump. My hump. My hump. My hump. Check it out. It's hump day.
Take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. The show is about to begin.
Cue the intro.
This is going to be legendary.
It's showtime.
Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams. Colonel's off this hour, but John's in here. He's got a special guest we'll get to in just a moment. Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on the live video stream. That's available to you now at talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Any of the three will get you there. The icon's in the upper right-hand corner where it says, on the air, listen live. Click that once, and you're listening that quick. Weather up for us today here in the Sandhills area. It's going to be pretty nice, mostly cloudy, though. Look for a high of 65. Rain kicks in sometime tonight, around 80-ish. Be mostly cloudy with showers, thunderstorms. The low of 55. Rain gets out of here tomorrow morning about 10-ish. So look for partly cloudy with scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms, and a high of 71. Friday, sunshine, 75. Saturday, we got partly cloudy with rain showers, a high of 73. And Sunday, to wrap up the weekend, look for mostly sunny skies with a high of 69. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are calm. Pressure is 3048. Solar radiation 20 watts per square meter. Dew point at 45. Humidity 76%. It is mostly cloudy still, and 52 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, let's make it 8:35. 35 past the hour. If you're just joining us, you're a little late, but we're glad to have you along anyway. People start to wake up at lunchtime and tune us in. Of course, lunchtime would be 3:30 to me. Anyway, John, you got a special guest. Wants to be our helper there in Raleigh. Tell us about it.
Well, I will. Good morning, everyone. I want to say a good morning to my guest. And by the way, if you're not aware of it, we're going to have a political candidate every Wednesday and every Thursday, and then one Monday we'll have some from the U.S. Senate and Congress and some of the locals. And this will be a statewide race that we're interviewing today. And I want to say hello to Neil Jackson, who's running for North Carolina Legislature, District 78. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning. It's good to be here with you guys.
We've got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to ask you to...
Before you start, tell us what 70A, what did you say it was?
78.
78.
Yeah.
Encompasses.
So great question. House District 78 is
Let me get you to lean on that microphone there. There you go.
House District 78 is half of Randolph County and half of Moore County. So Jamie Bowles represents part of Moore County, and then with the new district lines, Carthage and Cameron and Vass is going to be represented by John Sauls, and then House District 78, which I hope to represent, will have Pinehurst and Seven Lakes and West End and Eagle Springs all the way down to Westmore, and then goes almost all the way to Greensboro.
All right. Well, I'm already starting to get text questions for you, but I'm going to wait on those for just a few minutes. There's a lot we've got to talk about today, Neil, and I want to try and get a lot in. But first, I want to give you a few minutes, and I hope you'll just take a short time to tell us a little about yourself. And I would like for you to include your children's homes, but we want to have you back another day after the elections to talk about that. So just if you'll be brief about that, and just tell us a little about yourself.
Hey, I love sitting in the radio room with you guys. And so my grandpa was an old radio preacher, so I would do this. But when I do radio interviews here lately, it's all by telephone. So to be able to hear in the room with you guys is great. So my background's financial planning. I was a financial planner for 13 years, born here in Pinehurst. My dad was a minister up in Bennett, North Carolina. He was a youth pastor and a minister of music when I was born, and lived here till I was 5, and then we moved to Atlanta, and that's where really I grew up. Started an insurance agency and financial planning and did that for 13 years, and then God led me back into the pastorate, and so ministered at a church in Florida for several years, and then have been back here in North Carolina, center of the state, for the last 12 years.
Well, I've got to admit, you surprised me, because I've never known a pastor who could actually be brief, especially when they're talking about themselves. So it's a pretty good sign. You spoke of God, and of course you're a pastor, and I do want to mention God. And I know, obviously, it's kind of become a thing ever since our wonderful Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson, did it, to talk about how much he loved the Lord and Jesus Christ, and we do. And so people do that more and more. And I want to say a word about that. You know, God's hand is present everywhere. It's amazing that your foe in this election, a man you were running against, and of course a good friend of mine, Nick Pacerno, is now a county a county commissioner. And I can't help but mention Louis Gregory's passing, a terrible thing, a wonderful man, and a tragic event, and for all of us, and it just took us all by surprise, and the sadness still lingers. But now, you and Nick have become allies. Nick is a commissioner, and he is very concerned about levels at things at the state level. And one of the things he's concerned about is what I'm hoping that you'll be concerned about, and that is education. I'm guessing that education is the number one issue in Moore County right now. What are some of the things that you can do as a legislator? And, of course, you'll be working with Tom McGinnis, and that's Senator Tom McGinnis, and Representative Jamie Bowles. And I'm guessing you've spoken with them quite a bit. I know you've spoken with Nick. Have you been able to come to any conclusions about some things that you might start working on immediately to help the citizens of Moore County in our efforts to fix our education? And statewide, as far as that goes.
Sure, absolutely. Great question. Let me just say that Moore County, in my humble opinion, should be a model to the rest of the state of what can happen when moms and parents get involved in education. The moms of Moore County and that group, what they're doing, they're taking back a system that for, in my opinion, too long has been run by bureaucrats. And it's my belief that God gives children to parents, not to the government. And so parents should be involved in education and be involved in their children's education. And I'm for all types of education. So I think homeschooling should be a viable choice. I'm for Christian schools, I'm for the private schools, I'm for the charter schools, and I'm for the public schools. I want them all to succeed, and I really desire for the parents to be involved. And so what's going on in Moore County, where they're saying we don't like certain books that we feel are very inappropriate and out of bounds. Parents should be doing that. And in my opinion, those books have no right whatsoever being given to our elementary schools. So I want to do everything I can. Nick and I have talked about this whole tier system and what can we do to get more funding to Moore County. I have some different ideas on that, but we have to do something about the tier system. But I'm for education being about reading, writing, and arithmetic, and not indoctrination of these radical ideas and philosophies that are harming our children, not helping our children. And when parents give their children to the school systems, it should be a safe zone that is helping their children, not polluting the minds of our dear children. So I don't want to get preachy on you, but that's my answer.
Well, I'm fine with you being preachy. Just don't pass the plate. Listen, I was very glad to see just now that you didn't shy away one bit from the question about the book. Not only did you not shy away, but you're the one that brought it up, and I'm glad to see someone who's not afraid to talk about that. And that brings me to my next question. I'll read this to you.
Okay.
Ask him, the guest, what he thinks about. First, it says though, make sure you put him on the spot. Ask him, your guest, what he thinks about transgenders playing in the Olympics. Example, a biological male on the women's weight team. And I'll carry that one further. What can you do about it as far as state law goes?
So I'm not in favor of that. The Republican Party brought to it came up as far as protecting women's sports. I would totally, completely support that bill. Even though the governor would veto it, I would make him veto it every year, because one of the responsibilities of legislators is to protect our citizens. And I feel like the most vulnerable are our children, and so I would do everything I can. Now, can I do something about the Olympics? I think that's a little bit outside of my purview, but I will do everything in my power for what I do have availability to work on.
We had another question here by text about the tier system. You brought up the tier system. As a matter of fact, Nick and I have been talking about the tier system, so has Steve on this radio station for, 3-4 years, and what a huge problem that tier system is. I don't think that most people understand it. So I'll give you a shot at explaining it before I ask this next question. But I do have a question involving the tier system for you.
Okay. Tier system. Basically, in Moore County is not the only county that has this problem, but when there is much affluence in one part of the county and there's much poverty in another part of the county, the part of the county that has a lot of poverty is penalized because the other part of the county has such affluence. And so the southern end, the Pinehurst and the Southern Pines and Seven Lakes, God has greatly blessed that end of our county. But up at the other end of the county, and I'm a Moore County resident, there are a lot more difficulties and trials. So the question is how do we get 120 representatives to vote to change a system that's going to mean less money for them? So that's a challenge of getting the tier system passed. Now, in my opinion, I think I have a better way to do it. But go ahead, shoot your question.
All right. Well, first, I want to make sure, and by the way, we're talking today with Neil Jackson, candidate for North Carolina Legislature, District 78. And I want to make sure folks understand that the tier system literally takes money out of the pockets of Moore County citizens, tax money, we pay the same amount as everyone else in the state, but we do not get the same amount back based upon our tier rating. And we're tier 3. If I didn't mix that up, tier 1, tier 3, we're tier 3, and so we get less tax money. And some of the other counties who are not considered quite as affluent get our tax money. It's a crazy system, but never mind. The question from the listener is, you said you would do something you had an idea about doing something about the tier system, and I want to speak for him a little bit. We often get candidates that say, I'm going to do something, but we don't hear what. So what is the something that you'll do?
Great. Everybody in Moore County that is familiar with this situation says, hey, we're against the tier system and we're going to vote against it. So I give my word, when this bill comes up, if it were ever to make it to the floor, I would vote to change the tier system. But quite honestly, I am one of 120. So Jamie would be 2 of 120. You look at Chatham County. Chatham County really has the same situation. You got the Cary side, the Pittsboro and that Chapel Hill side of Chatham County, which has a lot of affluence. But you come on down to Siler City. Siler City has a lot of the same problems we do in the north end of our county. So how do you get around the tier system? In my opinion, jobs. If we bring jobs to Robbins, if we bring jobs to Westmore, and we can get that raise the poverty level, bring more affluence to that end of the county, then we are not in the same situation as we are now. So would I vote to change the tier system? Absolutely, I would. But a bigger issue is, and I live in this end of the county. I live in High Falls. That end of the county needs help with jobs. Randolph County, which is part of my district, just got the Toyota battery plant. Totally changing Liberty, totally changing Red Cross, that whole region up there. Randleman, totally, because we got manufacturing to come, and that is going to change everything about it. So while I would vote to change the tier system, I'm going to work hard to bring jobs to Moore County, which will help a lot of areas.
All right, Neil. I want to insert this first. The legislature conducted a survey, or rather a study, to determine how much good the tier system does. And their own study recommended they do away with the tier system because it was just simply not effective. But of course, that was tucked away somewhere, and we know it's not effective. But you brought this on yourself. I've got this next question for you. So I can't tell you how many people have sat in that chair where you're sitting right now and have said to us, I want to bring more jobs to Moore County. How do you do that?
Great question. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of effort.
Well, Neil, I'm not going to let you get away with that. It's going to take what kind of work and what kind of effort? What must someone do?
Okay. See, it's already been done. I live in Moore County. I pastor a church in Randolph County. Randolph County has brought the Toyota plant to Randolph County, so it's already been done. Now, they had to invest a lot of money. For one thing, for jobs to come to Robbins, we got to fix a water problem. And so right now, Robbins gets all of their water out of Montgomery County. And so we need to, and you look, my friend Nick, he and Tim Lee, they had worked out a situation years ago that would have gotten Moore County water to Robbins. We got to take care of a water problem if we're going to get jobs. But you look, going out 24, 27 toward Bisco, they already have the land designated for a mega industrial site. And with the Republicans have done a great job at lowering taxes and making this business friendly. So there are businesses in all of these blue states that would love to expand to Moore County. We just have to make it happen. So infrastructure has to be there for these companies to come. You have to have interstate access for these to come. You have to have available workforce. And so thank God for what Sandhills is doing for that. It all works together. So is this a wave the magic wand and you vote for Neil Jackson and he's going to bring 5,000 jobs? No, we are going to have to work as a county to make this happen, but we can.
Okay, I'm gonna skip that one for a while because we've got so much we want to talk about. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to please tell us some of the other reasons you're running. What made you decide to run?
Great question.
Are you going to comment on every question? Because you're telling me all of them are good, and I'm starting to get a big head over here. So,
I'm honored to be in the studio here with JD, the great JD.
I need to start asking tougher questions.
Zumwalt. And so why did I get in? Quite honestly, I believe our country's burning to the ground. Who would have ever thought that in the land of the free, the home of the brave, they would be teaching Marxism in our schools and in our colleges? I have gotten very frustrated. My life is great. I have 5 kids. God has blessed us greatly. I'm in a wonderful church. But I've gotten very, very, very incredibly frustrated with people saying, I'm going to go to Raleigh or Washington, D.C. and represent you, the people. And they get up there and they're all about money and representing the special interest. So if the AOCs of the world and if the progressive left of the world can go and represent their beliefs, why can't a conservative Christian who stands for life, I'm pro-life every day of the week and twice on Sunday, stands for liberty? They are taking away our liberties, our freedom. Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. Why am I going to Raleigh? Because I want my children and my grandchildren to enjoy the freedoms that I did and that are being stolen before us every day.
Well, Neil, I'm going to do something now. I'm going to say something, and I kind of stole from you. Good answer. Okay. Now, you stole my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I want you to kind of say it again in another way. I'd like you to assure us, to make sure that every one of us understand and believe this, that when you go to Raleigh, you will not do what some have done, or go to D.C. in some cases and do what others have done, that you will not forget us, that you will not decide that, oh, no, I know best, and I don't care about the people I represent. I'd like you to tell us that you are indeed, because I know you know what a shepherd's heart is because you're a pastor, and I know that you're a man of God because I've spent time talking to you about it. But I would like you to assure us, not assure me, but assure the people of Moore County, the people listening, the people who are going to be voting, that you will indeed not forget what it means to be a shepherd and to indeed represent our interests up there in the way that you just talked about, whether it be David and Goliath or whether it be 2 warriors battling as equals. We'd like to have your assurance that you will not forget us. In fact, while you're at it, will you continue to come on this radio show if you're elected?
Absolutely. Love to come on the radio station. America, form of government, I believe is the best in the world. I believe it was founded on Christian principles. That's why it's so good. But it's a representative government. So we don't have a king. We, the people, we're the king of America, and we get to elect people that will represent us. And if they do not represent us well, then we vote them out of office. So I give you my word, I will represent Moore County every day of my life as a Christian, as a conservative, as a Republican. I'm not going to get up there and act like a liberal. I'm not going to get up there and act like a moderate because that's not who I am in my DNA. I'm a Christian who loves Jesus Christ, and I believe he's the Savior of the world. I'm a conservative. That's just my worldview. And I'm a Republican. That word Republican has changed. Republican means less government. Ronald Reagan said, government is not the solution to the problem. Government is the problem. Republican is less taxes. So I'm not a tax and spend guy. I want government to get out of our lives. Republican means gun ownership, means First Amendment freedoms. So every day I will be a Christian. I will conduct myself as a Christian, as a conservative, and as a Republican.
Well, you're getting all my questions in before I can ask them, but I just had a question text. I've had so many questions texted just now, but we are very, very much a conservative county, and I've got to tell you, Neil, I'm glad to hear you say that you're a Republican because I'm frankly sick and tired of hearing Republicans, everyday people, and some leadership, at all levels, saying, well, we've got to reach out to the Democrats. We've got to consider their feelings. No, I say no. If you want to be a Republican, then become one. If you want to have our values and share our values, then become a Republican. Other than that, whoever wins the elections wins the toys, and we do what's best for the people of this county. All right, I'm starting to turn into a preacher now.
You want to give an invitation?
Well, no, but I would like to pass the plate. All right. Second Amendment, First Amendment. I mean, there's no way that you're not absolutely in favor of all of those things.
Absolutely.
What else do you...
One of the reasons that Randolph and Moore counties is as safe a place to live is gun ownership is higher in our two counties. We're the sixth or seventh in the country in gun ownership. That brings about safety. I was with DA of Randolph County a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me that breaking and entering at night, they have like 3 a year in Randolph County. And I said, really? I said, is that because they know it's a felony and they're going to do some serious time? He said, no. He said, they know they're going to get shot. And so gun ownership, you teach the concealed carry classes. It's a good thing. And I'm for all of our law-abiding citizens being gun owners.
I am too, and I'm also for people understanding the correct way to carry a gun and when they can use it, when they can't, and how to carry it. So I think a training class is a good thing, but I don't want to take up your time for that. I want to tell you that, everyone, that we're talking today with Neil Jackson, candidate for North Carolina Legislature, District 78. Neil, we've got 1 minute. I'd like you to use that time to tell people how they can get a hold of you, about your website, Facebook page, whatever you might like to tell them. And I doubt if you're accepting donations, but if you are, let us know how you... I'm kidding you there, but go ahead.
Neil Jackson 4NC, the number 4, or you can spell it out, either one. That'll take you to our website. I have no opponent in Moore County, but I have 3 opponents in Randolph County. And so really this is the first time because Harold Brubaker had this seat, and Alan McNeil, who's endorsing me, he's had this seat. So we have the opportunity to have a Moore County resident representing us in Raleigh. So I really do need some help. I need some help financially. You can give online. You can go to our Facebook page, Neil Jackson 4NC, and know that I'll say it again. I'm here to serve. This is not about my ego. I don't want to run for governor. I don't want to run for president. I want to represent where I live well.
All right. Well, thank you, Neil. Neil Jackson, District 78 Legislative Candidate. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a titillating Thursday. Until then, be sure to support the mom and pop businesses you hear on WEEB, because they are the backbone of our economy here. When you give them first crack at your spending dollars, your money stays here, rolls over, and creates jobs for all of us. And they pay taxes too. And don't forget also that millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams, and the LeaderMan and Nick DeCote the dog. We'll all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the dog park.